Hello everyone, and welcome to Babylon Leather's official channel. Today, we'll be crafting a lined leather Picotin bag. Count the materials: 1 drawstring, 1 piping strip leather. Its length is more than twice the width of the bag body. 2 bag body materials, 2 handle materials with openings on both sides, 2 long strip materials, 1 bow decoration and lanyard material, 1 bottom material. The side with bottom studs is the front, the other side is the back. 1 loop of boning strip. Now let's begin sewing the charm. Get the lanyard and bow. The lanyard does not have front and back sides. The end with the opening is the top, the end with 4 holes is the bottom. Thread the bottom end of the lanyard through the hole on the leather side of the bow. Get the key. Thread the key through the end with holes. Fold the lanyard in half, aligning the holes. Measure the thread to be 1 time the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. Each time you can measure 5 to 10 centimeters extra. The thread is sufficient for sewing. Get 2 needles, set the other needles aside for backup. Thread the needles. Begin threading the needle by passing the thread through the needle eye. Then, pass the needle tip through the middle of the thread. Tighten it, and that completes the threading of the needle. Thread the other needle using the same method. Begin sewing by threading the first needle through the first hole. Thread the second needle through the second hole. Tighten the thread and leave the second needle unmoved. Then thread the first needle through the second hole to complete the starting stitch. After sewing all the holes, sew a few more stitches to reinforce. After reinforcing, thread all the threads to this side. Leave a 3mm thread tail, cut it, and use a lighter to burn the end to secure the thread. This completes the thread securing. Now show how to secure the thread and using a lighter. After trimming the thread, start sewing the bow. Measure the thread to be 6 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles normally. Because the thread cannot be too short during sewing, you can measure a longer thread when measuring. At this time, the bow needs to be distinguished between the front and back sides. Take the side opposite to where the thread tail is as the front side. Start sewing. Begin stitching from the first hole from the bottom to the top. Pass the second needle through the second hole. Pull both threads to ensure they remain the same length. Then pass the first needle through the second hole. Be careful not to catch the thread. Sew with both needles together. This is the double needle sewing method. Sew forward with the double needle sewing method and pass each hole twice. After each stitch, tighten the thread, keep the thread arrangement direction consistent, and make sure to pull the thread vertically, otherwise, the leather material will be damaged. Be careful to pull the thread with even force when sewing the fabric, otherwise, there will be wrinkles, which is not aesthetically pleasing. After sewing all the holes, sew one stitch backward to reinforce. Then thread all the threads to the back side. Leave a longer thread tail and trim the threads together after sewing the other side. Take a look at the result after sewing. Sew the other side using the same method. Measure the thread to be 4 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles normally. The sewn part here is a bit short, so measure more thread. Start sewing. Begin stitching from the first hole from the bottom to the top. Pass the second needle through the second hole. Then sew normally with the double needle sewing method. Do not catch the thread or miss any holes. After sewing all the holes, start trimming the thread. First, sew one stitch backward to reinforce. Then thread all the threads to the back side. After sewing, trim the thread using the same method. Take a look at the result after sewing. Get the drawstring. The side with the raised hardware is the front side, and the side with the recessed hardware is the back side. or distinguish by the size of the holes. The hole that is round and large is the front side, and the hole that is sharp and small is the back side. Sew the decorative stitches on the drawstring. The decorative stitches on the bag are for decoration only and do not function to join to materials. Measure the thread to be 8 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles normally. Start sewing. Begin stitching from the middle hole from the bottom to the top. Pass the second needle through the adjacent hole. Then sew normally with the double needle sewing method. Do not catch the thread or miss any holes. After sewing all the holes, start trimming the thread. First, sew 1 stitch backward to reinforce. Then thread the threads on the front side through the previous hole to the back side. Then trim the thread using the same method. After sewing the drawstring, get these 2 materials. Its thickness is thicker than that of the piping strip. Do not take the wrong one. There are holes on both sides, and no holes in the middle. Fold it in half and add the drawstring. After putting it in, the side with the raised hardware is the front side. Get to bag body materials with their front sides facing up. The drawstring material also has its front side facing up. Place them like this. Sew these holes. Do not sew the middle hole for now, sew it later. Measure the thread to be 8 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles normally. Start sewing. Begin stitching from the first hole from the bottom to the top and pass through the 3 materials in sequence. Do not sew the middle hole. Pass the second needle through the second hole. The bag body on the left side will only be used when sewing to the other row of holes, so it can be put aside for now. You can use a clip to fix the holes here. Then sew normally with the double needle sewing method. Do not catch the thread or miss any holes. When sewing to this position, continue sewing. Stop after sewing this middle hole. You need to add another bag body material when sewing the next stitch. Be careful to align the position correctly. After aligning, use a clip to secure this position. Be careful not to mix up the threading order. Sew forward normally. After sewing all the holes, start trimming the thread. First, sew one stitch backward to reinforce. Do not sew the middle hole for now. Then thread all the threads to the back side. After sewing, trim the thread using the same method. Place the other side of the bag body like this. Get to square buckles. Get another long strip and thread the square buckle into the long strip material. Place it properly like this. Sew this side using the same method. The only difference is the items being sandwiched. Take a look at the effect of both sides being sewn. Get to handle materials. The handle has a cut part here. Start from the central hole and count. There are 9 holes at the handle position. The number of openings on the handle material should be 1 to 3 more than the number of handle holes. If there are fewer openings, tear it to create more. Only then can it clamp the bag body material. Each opening must be torn to have the same number of holes. The front side of the handle material faces outward. Open the opening to clamp the bag body material. Measure the thread to be 8 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles normally. Count the handle holes. Find the central hole of the handle holes. It is larger than the surrounding holes and located exactly in the middle of the holes. Start sewing. Begin stitching from the central hole from the bottom to the top. Pass the second needle through the adjacent hole. Then sew normally with the double needle sewing method. Do not catch the thread or miss any holes. After sewing the holes of the bag body, continue sewing the holes of the handle material forward. When sewing to the other side, be careful to reserve enough holes for the bag body material. Count 9 holes upward from the central hole, so stop when sewing to the 10th hole from the end and add the bag body material to sew together. Count again. If there is no problem, add the bag body material to sew. The handle direction should follow smoothly. Sew forward normally until reaching the starting hole. After sewing all the holes, start trimming the thread. First, sew one stitch backward to reinforce, then trim the thread at the bottom. Cut the thread and trim the threads together after sewing the other side. take a look at the result after sewing. Sew the other side using the same method. Take a look at the effect of both sides being sewn. Now start sewing the bottom. First, turn the bag body inside out. The side with the drawstring is the back piece, and the other side is the front piece. Start sewing from the back piece. Align the shorter side of the bottom with the back piece, and align the central hole with the corresponding central hole. The back side of the bottom faces upward, and the back side is the one with the screws. A piping strip and a boning strip need to be sandwiched between the two materials. Measure the thread to be 8 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles normally. Find the central holes of the two materials. Start sewing. Begin stitching from the first hole from the bottom to the top. Get the piping strip. If the holes at the edge of the piping strip are very close to each other, -1 off this row of holes to ensure there is a 2 mm distance between the holes and the edge. This one is just right and does not need trimming. Wrap the boning strip inside the piping strip, then continue passing the first needle through the second hole of the piping strip. Note that it is the second hole. Finally, pass the needle through the central hole of the bag body. Pass the second needle through the adjacent hole. The boning strip can be stretched a little to prevent it from falling out during sewing. Then sew forward normally with the double needle sewing method. There are many layers of materials here, so you can thread through them one layer at a time. Do not miss any layers. It is easier to sew if you use a clip to fix the position. Pull the boning strip to a proper position, leaving a little extra length to prevent it from falling off. Then continue sewing forward. The corner area is difficult to sew. You can thread the bag body and piping strip together first, then thread the bottom material separately. If the clip is in the way and makes sewing difficult, you can remove the clip. Then continue sewing and make sure the central holes on each side are aligned. Do not skip any holes when sewing to this position. Sew normally. Check if the central holes are aligned. Continue sewing after confirming there are no issues. If you have sewn the wrong hole, you need to unpick the stitches back to the incorrectly sewn hole and resew. First, check which corner was sewn incorrectly. Unpick the stitches back to the position where the mistake was made. Unpick the thread like this and use the needle to pull out the thread. If you unpick to this position, just rethread the needle and continue sewing forward. When there are only a few holes left, you can first cut the boning strip to an appropriate length. The boning strip does not need to be overlapped. Sew a few more holes. Then count how many unsewn holes are left on the bottom and trim off the extra holes on the piping strip. For the last stitch, you also need to include the first hole of the piping strip for sewing. First, range the position properly. Then continue sewing. Now it is the last stitch. There are many layers of materials, so you can sew patiently and enjoy the fun of sewing. There are a total of 8 layers of materials at this position. After sewing all the holes, start trimming the thread. First, sew 2 stitches backward to reinforce. When the needle gets stuck and cannot be pulled out, wiggle it in the middle of the needle while pulling, otherwise, the needle may break. Then thread all the threads to the back side. After sewing, trim the thread using the same method. After sewing, turn the bag inside out. First, turn out the corners on both sides. Do not pause midway when turning the bag, otherwise, marks will be left on the leather after a long time. Push out the 4 corners and edges with your hands. Then adjust the shape of the bag with your hands. Finally, hang the lock, and the bag is completed. Appreciate your choice of Babylon leather. Thank you for choosing us. Wishing you the acquisition of valuable skills during your time here. If you've enjoyed our video, don't forget to like, comment, and share. For more information about this DIY leather kit, check out the link in the bio. Thanks for watching.